It's James Banks here from Up Close Gamers, and I'm here with Mr. Bitter. Now you've just done a 15-hour cast. How are you feeling?
Very, very excited for tomorrow. Honestly, I'm exhausted, but it's been an awesome day.
So what would you say to start off with is the best game you've casted today?
If I had to pick a game, it would be Impossible, but Sheth versus Todd, the series from from day one, group, whatever it was, group E maybe. It was just a really intense series, 2-1. Every game was super, super close. I guess the second game was probably the best game of the bunch, but incredible play from both sides all the way through.
So you're over here now in Europe, and you're working for the ESL, but a few people might not know you from before that. So could you explain to us a bit of the history of Mr. Bitter, so to speak?
It's a short history. StarCraft 2 came out, and I just wanted to play StarCraft 2, so I played and played and played, and I really wanted to be the best StarCraft 2 player I could be, and I just wasn't improving at a pace that I felt like was good enough. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to get some coaching, and that was kind of early on in the whole, coaching has become a big deal in StarCraft 2, and that was really before it took off. A lot of people were really critical of coaching, be like, oh, why would you get StarCraft coaching? But I just said, to hell with it, I'm going to go for it. I got some coaching from In Control, and I streamed the lesson. I dare say it was the first time a coaching lesson for StarCraft had ever been streamed, and a lot of people tuned in, and they really enjoyed it. So I was like, well, let's do it again. And more people tuned in the second time, and then more people tuned in the third time, and then eventually I was like, hell, let's turn it into a show. And from there, my show, 12 Weeks with the Pros, was born. We brought on all the best Zerg players in the world. Idra, Rhett, Sheth, Machine was on there. We had Slayer's Sella from Korea came on, and more and more and more. So it was just a really fun educational show. And while it all happened a few patches ago, I still am very proud to say that I think it's the most abundant compilation of Zerg knowledge to date.
So you mentioned a lot of Zerg. Why did you pick Zerg?
I was a Brood War player, and I always wanted to play Zerg in Brood War just because it was such a cool race. But Brood War had an incredibly high mechanical skill ceiling, and I was not up to the ceiling by any stretch. So I played Protoss in Brood War because that's the only race I was able to really make units with. Got to like a really crappy level playing like C-, I think was as high as I ever got playing Protoss in Brood War. But when StarCraft 2 came out, I said, by God, I'm going to learn to play Zerg. And fortunately for me, the interface has been improved to a point where it's not that hard to build units anymore. So I guess I've just always been a Zerg player at heart, and finally with StarCraft 2 I was able to pick it up and make it happen.
So as I said before, you're now part of the ESL. How did that all happen?
It was kind of a flurry, man, because after my show ran its course, 12 Weeks with the Pros, I got a couple of offers to do like individual casting gigs. I went out and casted for a week at NASL, and then MLG actually gave me a shot to come out and cast in Anaheim, and that was, I guess, enough of a light shining on me for ESL to say, hey, we need a caster, let's give this guy a shot. So they offered me a job, and I said, fly around the world to talk about StarCraft? Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. So I took it. I never really set out to be a caster, but it just worked out that way.
So what are the good things about working for ESL? Because they're such a big company, and like they're so respected in Europe. What are your favorite things for working for ESL?
Well, I have a lot of freedom to run my shows how I want and when I want, so that's really, really cool. But easily the coolest thing about it is the amount of travel we're able to do. I've been to China, I've been to Poland, I've been all around Germany. Here I am in Sweden now, obviously not with ESL, but I wouldn't be here were it not for ESL. It's really cool being able to literally go around the world playing StarCraft. Like I have to pinch myself every time I talk about it because it doesn't seem real.
So you've got a lot of fans, like most of the casters have here, and you're having to sign autographs and stuff like that. What was it like for you the first time you had to sign an autograph?
It was really cool. It was actually at MLG Dallas. I went there just as a player, but my show was running. I had a shirt that my sister had made for me. She like spray painted 12 Weeks with the Pros on my shirt. It was the coolest shirt ever. And a couple people recognized me, like, oh, Mr. Bitter signed my mouse pad. And I was like, really? They were like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And it's always been, I don't know, if a fan takes the time to come talk to me, I'll sign their mouse pad or their boobs or whatever. I don't care. I just, I feel lucky to be here, so I'll sign autographs all day if that's what people want.
So you've come from quite a recent background compared to some of the other casters here. What advice would you give to other casters that are looking to take their casting to the next level?
Play the game, play the game, play the game, play the game. Nothing is more of a turnoff than a caster that does not play StarCraft and play it at a respectable level. Before I really was casting full time, I was practicing with pros and playing with pros on a regular basis. I was never a high level or even a low level professional caliber player, but I practiced with some really good guys, and my game and my understanding at that time was okay. It was good enough for me to be able to sit down and talk about StarCraft and have an idea as to what I was saying. That's really important. As a caster, it's your responsibility to tell the viewer honestly what is happening, and players or casters that don't do that, they really bug me. I get it wrong a lot too. I mean, we all make mistakes, but the most important thing in my opinion is playing the game. Beyond that, just work at it, guys. You can achieve really anything if you just go after it. I never set out to have a job or a career in esports, but when I realized that maybe it was possible, I pursued it and I worked hard at it, pumped out content as consistently as I could, and it worked out. And those opportunities are out there for anybody that wants to take a hold of them.
Now, you've been casting with Day9 here today. Is there any other casters that you'd really want to cast with?
I mean, I've been really fortunate in that I've worked with most of the good casters. I've never casted alongside Artosis or Tasteless, so that'd be a fun experiment. But I've got to give a lot of a lot of love to my boy Rotterdam back in Germany. I think he's one of the best casters in the world, and I love working with him. And I'm really excited to cast with him at the NASL in a couple of weeks.
Now, you just mentioned Rotterdam. You guys have got some really good chemistry going on. So, did you have any experience with him before ESL, or was it literally just as you started?
Yeah, the very first time I met Rotterdam, or talked to Rotterdam, or really even saw Rotterdam, was getting off the plane in Dusseldorf when I landed in Germany. So I had no idea what I was in for. I didn't know if we were going to get along or if we would work well together. But as it happens, he's like the friendliest, easiest guy to work with in the world, and he's got great chemistry with anybody that he casts with. It's really impossible not to like Rotterdam. So it's been really easy. It's been really, really easy for me to work with him.
So maybe we'll see some more Rotterdam bit of action at non-ESL events?
I really hope so. I've been pushing really hard to get him out to some of these international events. He will be casting the NASL finals first week of December, so all you Rotterdam fans, be sure to tune into that. And, who knows? Maybe after that, some of these other big companies are going to be like, hey, that guy's not bad. Let's get him out to our event.
So, to round this up a bit, because I know you're going to be tired, you've got a long day ahead of you tomorrow, any shout-outs you want to do, anything you want to promote, like upcoming events you're doing, and anything you want to say to your fans?
Well, first and foremost, huge thanks to my fans. Like, I would never have this opportunity if it weren't for guys supporting me and holding me up, and just making me better. Really, I owe everything that I have in this business to the StarCraft community. It's unbelievable. Beyond that, I just want to give shout-outs to all the other people out there that are creating good content and making cool things happen. I love the Barcraft movement. Keep it up, guys. Shout-outs to all the great casters here and around the world that are trying to present StarCraft, and most of all, shout-out to all the great players that take part in all these awesome games.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.